Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Cervantes podcast. Joining me today to discuss the term body positivity and loving yourself even when society doesn't want you to, and being featured in Allure Magazine, Steve Madden, Airy, Google Pixel ad campaigns, is singer-songwriter and Jag model, Everything Omega. How are you? How are you doing?
Hey, I am great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's
Yes,
get
I'm
into
very
it.
excited.
So, body positivity is a social movement focused on the acceptance of all bodies, regardless of size, shape, skin tone, gender, and physical abilities, while challenging present day beauty standards as an undesirable social construct. However, the body positivity movement has been criticized for encouraging lifestyle habits that negatively affects one's health. A central complaint is that excessive approval of overweight and obese individuals could possibly result in people failing to improve their health, leading to a number of health issues such as obesity, diabetes, and hypertension. I wanted to have this conversation to fight it back against the belief that a person's weight equates to their health and to change the perception that you need to look a certain way physically in order to fit an outdated and problematic beauty standard perpetuated by society. So, with all that being said, my first question I wanted to ask you: did someone ever make you feel insecure about the way you look?
Believe it or not, I've actually, luckily, I'll say luckily, never experienced that, but I will say that I do it more to myself. So I will say
Okay.
actually that I have experienced it, but it's just like me to me, which is I feel like the worst kind because
Right.
like it starts with you. So like for you to be beating yourself up in the morning at the start of your day, it's not ideal. But it's interesting because ever since I got into this industry, I've never been so concerned with what I look like. It's actually crazy. Like there are times, and I'm super transparent, so this is like 100%. There are times that I literally will turn my mirror around in my apartment because I look at myself so much and I start to pick myself apart.
When you became a
And
model, when you started
when I
modeling.
became a model. Like when I tell you, I never thought about like, yeah, maybe there would be moments where I'm like, maybe I should work out today or whatever the case may have been. But
Right.
it's now more than ever that I feel all of it because obviously it is a job where it is about what you look like, and then your personality is second sometimes. Luckily, a lot of that is changing, which we'll eventually get into. But for the most part, it's been a lot of just like me thinking about, well, should I eat this? Because then X, Y, and Z. And when I tell you I would eat whatever before, I'm having dessert, I'm having a cocktail. But now
Right.
I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't know.
Like
And I
my
hate that.
face, my body's gonna be put on a billboard one day, hopefully
Exactly.
manifesting on a front of a store. Like,
Yeah.
and it's the camera adds some weight. Some people say 10 pounds,
Yes.
some people say
That
15.
10 pounds,
Right.
I think there might be something to that. But I will say I did a shoot not too long ago and I was like, I felt so just kind of out of place a bit because I just felt heavier than I usually am. And you go up and down and up and down. So it
Right.
was one of them up weeks. And the pictures came out and I actually loved all of them, which I was so happy about. So it's
I love
interesting.
that.
Sometimes when you're just like, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. It ends up being okay. But it's definitely something I have to work on. But I can be honest about and say, every day I may want fries, but will I have them? No.
No, no, I love that. I love that. And I think a lot of people can relate to that because we're our own worst critic. We're our like
Absolutely.
we judge ourselves, and then it's like you're in an industry where it's like you're in front of the camera. So
Mhm.
you kind of like the industry wants you to look a certain way and wants you to, act a certain way. And it's like because you're like we said, like because you're gonna be put everywhere, like marketed everywhere
Yeah.
for everyone to see, it's like, oh, like maybe I need to look my best and look like this. But it's like, no, like you should be you don't have to be Kate Moss. You don't have to
Yeah.
be Naomi Campbell. Like there's different people.
Exactly. Like everyone I look up to now in the industry is curvy. I don't even want to say plus size model. It's so weird to me sometimes. Like
Okay.
before I got into the industry, I knew that I was a plus size model just because the range of being a straight size model or regular model is just like impossible in my book. So, well, for me personally, like me being that size, I may look, a little different. Like I think I'm just meant to be curvilicious, is what I call it, because I feel like it puts a little spice on it and it makes me feel good.
Yes.
But I look up to like Leslie Sedora, and there's a model Precious. She's, oh my God, she's stunning. And that's what I see now. So I think it's important to have that, because I'm you.
Representation.
I'm not exactly representation. That is key. So that's helped me a lot. Just looking like, listen, they're doing it and they're killing it and they're making their way and they're paving a way for me. And I hope I can do that for models coming into this as well.
Right. Because if you
Yeah.
can see it, it's like you can achieve it. And it
It's
sounds corny,
possible.
but
Yeah.
it's true. Like it's really
Like,
true.
okay, I can do that. It is possible. It's so true.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of answered it. Do you think
Yeah.
representation in the media of curvy Black women and girls is improving?
It's interesting. I have this conversation all the time with a good friend of mine, and there are so many women now, like Black women kind of used to get the side eye because we got the butt and we got the thighs and we got all this and we got
Right.
luscious lips, and I see that every day now. And it may not be natural, it may be bought. It's just interesting how that was so kind of like, and now it's like people want that. Like people want it
Yeah,
bad. So for
BBL.
me, yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And I just watched a Red Table Talk on BBLs, and oh my
Oh,
God.
I
Like,
saw that. I saw that
first of
one.
all, love Red Table Talk, like book us. Like, come
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I was like, damn, like this is what you go through to have this curvy, vivacious, a voluptuous looking body that once was kind of like, you know. So now being in the industry as a Black woman with dreads, I
Oh,
feel
that's another
empowered.
layer. That's
Yeah, I
another
feel
layer.
empowered and I feel amazing. So when I did the Allure, it was such a big thing for me. And I know we're not talking about dreads, but to throw it in there, it was such a big thing for me
Yeah.
because when I was in like elementary school, my mom would like, she'd give me like two big braids with my dreads and she'd tie them and they'd almost look like, you know, like the door knockers. It almost looked like
Yes.
that on my head.
Yes.
So I had door knockers on my damn head. And those kids, they'd run around and like be like ding dong and they'd be messing with me. And it's just like, damn, now I'm on Allure, you know, like I'm in Allure and and I'm being appreciated for having locks. And I feel like oh my God, I'm so like close to my dreads. Like I really love them. And I won't say like your hair defines you because you're still a human being and you're awesome and you have your own spark, but it definitely gave me like that. I'm different and I'm authentic and you're going to know me no matter what, because like in high school, when I got to high school, it was like, oh, the girl with the dreads that wears like the really funky clothes, like she could be having all those different type of colors, and she has the dirty Converse because I love my Converse worn in. And no matter what, like you knew me, like you might have
Okay.
not known my name, but you knew I had the dreads and I was Thixies and I was out here serving these
Period.
you,
Yes.
you know. So I have like
But
a
it's funny how
connection
it's
to that.
just so interesting how like long like centuries ago, like Black people, Black women are ridiculed for things that now are like billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
And when someone of a different race, when a white woman, when a Hispanic, other races and cultures, when they do it's like they're exotic, they're foreign. Like Black
Yeah.
men, gotta be honest, some people are not
Yeah.
gonna like it, but Black men like that on other women. But then it's like when a
Mhm.
Black woman does it, oh, she's ghetto, or
Yeah.
it's
When
regular,
it's
it's not
like
special.
we're just naturally like this, you know,
Right.
like
And
it's nothing that we need to
locks
work
is,
for.
and I feel like also locks is seen as like dirty, unkept.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see white people in Brooklyn just like
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
So it's so messed
It's
up.
wild. I've definitely heard that a lot. And it's so funny because like I kind of put myself on a hair schedule. Sometimes it's impossible because I may have a job, but for the most part, I'm on a hair schedule. They are twisted, they are oiled. Like I'll do my hair and then have to put the towel over my pillow because the oil, the juices is flowing throughout the night.
Yes, you gotta
But
cover it up.
very well kept. Yeah, it's just like I think eventually people will just be like, we bow down to you guys. You guys started it and we respect it and we're just trying to pay tribute in a way.
Right.
Or at least let's just take it like that and you know, let bygones be bygones.
What does body positivity mean to you? Are you for it, or is the term corny or oversaturated to you?
I think we do use it a lot, but I think body positivity is a great way to describe just like how you feel about your body. um I use I use that term a lot, but I feel like me being, well, let's say plus size model, which I am, I hear that a lot, like you're about body positivity and da 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 da. And I think that's awesome. I think it's something that people who are not feeling good about themselves or whatever, I think it's for the people that speak out about it. Because instead of me sitting at home and sitting in the negativity, I'm going to stand up and speak about my body in a positive way. Let's start talking about body positivity. What are the things you love about your body? What are the things you think stand out about your body? Like I think there's more to that. Do we use it a lot? Sure. But body and positivity, I think those are great words that go together. I'm all about being positive all the time. And just think it comes from a lot of people who do struggle with their bodies, but they're trying to speak out in a more positive way. And I believe in words of affirmation. And I think speaking about your body, like, oh, I love my thighs today.
Yes.
Ooh, my behind looks good today. Ooh, my legs, look at these calves. These calves are
Yes.
popping. Like things like that to me, like those are words of affirmation. Like that's saying I'm gonna twist it today and be positive about this body that God blessed me with. So I think we should use it more. I think like sometimes people probably think some people are pro body positivity, but it's not coming from a genuine place. But guess what? Leave those people, like they gonna do what they're gonna do.
Like
But
the
as long
people
as
who
you're
think
coming from a
like,
genuine place, like we
yes.
get it. It's a fun hashtag, but we know you mean it because I feel genuine energy. So I think that's
Right.
that's all that is. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. And I feel like sometimes people are oversensitive. Like when they came for Lizzo in the
Yeah.
summer because she wanted to go on a detox for like, I think 5 days or whatever. Oh, now why are you switching it up now? What's the problem?
Right.
That's
And
not healthy. And it's like,
I
what?
hate that. I hate that because it's just like it's a mental thing. Fitness is not about I'm going to run until I can't breathe. It's literally for your mental. It's for you to wake up. Let's say you want to go for a run. Let's say you want to do a 10-minute workout. My boyfriend, he's always like, even if you do 10 minutes, like it's up to you, but do it and you're going to feel good. He does it mentally for himself. It's like almost a cleanse in a way. So for her to do something like that, and also to be in the limelight the way she is, you need that mental space to be like, you know what? If this is the 20 minutes out of my day that I'm going to get to be alone and focus in on what my body needs, because really you have to listen to your body. And I think it takes time to get there because I'm saying all this now and I probably won't work out tomorrow. Like, who knows? But, but my thing is when I do, I really do feel refreshed. So I don't think anyone should try to play somebody or make someone feel bad for feeding their souls. Like it's really just from the inside and then your outsides will eventually show. But it's an
Right.
internal work. It's internal work. So people saying that, I think they just mad because they're probably on a couch snacking. And I like that too. Like good for you. Throw a movie on. But don't make
Right.
other people feel bad. And it's
No.
interesting though, because I had a conversation with my boyfriend the other day. He was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I low key feel kind of offended when you say, because me, I'm a person where if I meet someone and they're snatched to the T,
Okay.
I automatically I'm like, oh, they was an athlete. Like, ain't no way they just getting up and doing that. Like, were an athlete and you were trained and your mind is trained to do that. And I didn't realize that, you know what? I'm just hating. I'm just hating because I'm not snatched and because my parents didn't put me in damn volleyball or whatever it was because my lazy ass wanted to be in chorus singing, which, it's working here. It was working something, but to me, I just always looked at them like, as an athlete, I feel like your mind is mentally trained to be like, I just got to do it. If I got to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, I'm going to do it. Like, and you just have that, like, you're so,
Like driven or like
yeah, like you have
ambitious.
that drive. You have that drive. So, and your mind's like trained to do that. So I had to look at it and be like, you know what? My fault. You right. I really like, I had to be like, I'm a hater. I really am. Because,
No, I like there was like an ad. No, I get what you're saying. There was a Nike
yeah.
ad that was like every if you have a body, you are an athlete. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, like I kind of like that. Like I don't
It's
have to,
so true.
like you don't have
Like,
to play sports to want to
exactly.
work out or
Like
to
just because
be
I'm
fit.
doing it doesn't mean you can't do it. You're just choosing not to. And am I going to make you feel bad for that? No. But if you're going to continue to feel bad for that, you better get up and do something about it, you know? So it was like one of those things. But I thought it was really funny because I really be like, all right, you're an athlete, but
No, I know, I get that.
yeah.
Sometimes I'd
But
be
we're like
happy
human.
too.
It happens.
Yeah, and I don't think we are like on the men part as well. Like I'll look at like when I was younger or recently sometimes I'll
Yeah.
see like those fitness people on the timeline. It's like I'm like, oh my God, like I don't care. Like I
Yeah, like just get off of my timeline with
right,
that
right.
because you're making me feel bad. And even though you're
Yes.
making me feel bad, I'm not going to the gym. So just leave me
Right.
alone. Or those people that be like, did you work out today? And you got to click no. Like, I'm not doing this. You're blocked for the rest of the day. But
Yes.
it's because we're doing it to ourselves. But I'm
Yeah.
also happy. This is great. We're having this conversation because guess what? If you, I'm looking at you and you out there, if you were on the couch right now eating your chips, that's okay. Finish that bag, but eventually get to a mental place where you want to take care of yourself for here, not the physical, but the internal. And it is okay because just swipe through it. Just keep swiping. Swipe through that. Some people will motivate you and some people will just, get to you because you want to do it for yourself. But when you get to doing it for yourself, you're going to be like, "Yep, I'm that person. I'm on your wave now. I get it."
Yes. No, yeah. Like if you go on social media and you feel bad about yourself, you need to like either put the phone down or follow
Yeah.
different people. Because for
Yeah.
me, it went from like, okay, I'm gonna like, I feel bad about myself, but like, okay, I'm actually like, oh, he's killing it. Like he looks good, so like let me try to look good. And then I like
Yeah.
found a personal trainer, my friend's younger brother, and like I want to have him on the podcast, but change
Yeah.
the perception about like it's not a
Change
bad
it.
thing,
Change how you feel. Like
you know?
you can do that for yourself and take that time. And it's good. It's just good to know that like I'm not the only one that be like side eyeing, and we're gonna get to
Yes.
a place where we're on there like, did you work out today? And we're gonna be like, damn, we're that annoying person that's drinking
Right.
green juices for fun. I
Yes, we're gonna be those
yeah,
people. No, yeah, like
exactly.
don't like I remember like walking into gyms like with my dad and like everyone's already fit and I'm like I feel like I don't deserve to be here. But it's
Yeah.
like no,
Yep.
like
We have like
they're at
imposter
the
syndrome
end.
at the gym. Yep.
Yeah, but they're at the end, not the end.
Yeah.
They're a couple chapters ahead and I
Yeah.
just have to get started. Like don't feel
Exactly.
bad. And
Don't
I
you
think
feel bad.
that
You
yeah.
start, and if you stop, you start again. And if you stop, you start again. And it's an ongoing thing. And even those people that are in there getting ripped and doing stuff like that, they're working internally. It has nothing to do with their outer. They feel good, but they want to feel good from the inside. We all doing our thing. We just got to get to that place of like
Yes,
peace.
yes.
Yeah.
What does self-love and or self-care look like for you?
I thought about this too. And like self care to me is just self care to me is like every day, which is weird. But like when I
Mm,
tell you I do whatever I want every day, and sometimes it's bad
amen.
because sometimes it's like you should be doing something for someone else, which I do. I'm not like the worst person. I'm not gonna say that, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's doing whatever I want that makes me happy. Smaller things, it's is like giving myself a facial or going to the gym
Right.
or making a really nice meal, pouring myself a glass of wine and watching Sex in the City. Like that to me is I'm caring for myself. I care enough about myself to create an atmosphere and a vibe that I feel comfortable in and makes me relaxed and happy, especially after a long day. So that to me is what it's all about. Sex in the City. No, but for me,
No,
like
I
it's just
love
like
that.
doing whatever the hell you want because that means you really care about yourself. It's not putting whoever first. It's I'm gonna do this because it makes me feel good, and then I can be presentable and present myself to the people that I care about, and and give them the utmost respect and attention and time. So that's
Right.
what it's
No.
about for me.
I said the same thing in the love yourself episode that
Mhm.
it could be taking doing what you want to do. That can be career wise. Like, no,
Yes.
mom and dad, I actually want to do this. I don't want to be a
Mhm.
doctor. Or
Right.
it's face masks and bubble baths, or it's therapy. Like it's many
Yeah.
different things.
Whatever
Um
brings you
yeah.
sparks joy in your life.
Right. So back in July of this year, you were featured in a Google Pixel ad campaign where you're running in motion wearing Google Pixel earbuds. What was going through your head when you first saw yourself on billboards and bus stops?
It's so crazy because anytime like anything absolutely insane happens to me to where my face may be everywhere or in certain places, it like I almost can't even react because I'm in such shock. I'm in such shock that I can't react. But I'm also someone that I stalk all the work that I do. I have to see it. I have to see it. So when it was on the bus stop, my uncle texted me at like midnight, and he's like, I saw you at a bus stop, like I'm pretty sure that's you, and he sent me the photo, and I was like, where is that? And he was like, it's over here. It was like across the street from a train station. I went the next day and was right out there front and center because I like have to see it. To I don't know, it just does something to me. I have to be like the almost the first one.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm still in disbelief at um what has happened, and I think it goes by so fast, and it's so hard to just be in the moment and enjoy it like you do, but it flies, and then you're like, oh my god, I really did that. This is crazy.
Right,
Like,
like all the like your hard work is slowly but surely paying off.
yeah, like
You know, like from the
it's
day you said, "Oh, I want to be a model," to like that. You like
it's
that's amazing.
unimaginable.
That's amazing.
Crazy. I saw myself and was like, what the hell? This is wild.
How long were you interested in modeling? Like from like the day you wanted to versus like now? Like how long did it take, would you say?
It's so crazy. So I like freaking submitted myself to my agency during
Okay.
quarantine. So I
Wow.
worked as a receptionist at a spa, and we shut down because everything was up in the air and no one knew what was going on. And during that time, I was like, I'm gonna dedicate this time to just take photos and post on Instagram. I wasn't thinking anything of it. It's so crazy. I was doing that and not like model did not even cross my mind. I was more just like, I'm gonna express myself and be creative every day. And I will say that was the one time that I was like really extremely consistent, and I'm really proud of myself for that time. And it's so funny because it's the smallest posting on Instagram, but to me it's like I came up with concepts and I would order certain looks, and like I was really trying to get creative. And it's crazy how the universe works because I'm doing all this and not even realizing that this would later on contribute into like maybe my team making the decision to choose me. Like, who knows? You're just doing this because I'm just a creative person. I have to do something. So
Right.
during that time when it was really like slow, everything was slow, there was nothing to do, I would post and post and post. My friend would come over. Shout out to my friend Sid, she's amazing. But she'd come
Friends that support
over. Oh
you.
my
I
god,
love
the
that.
greatest human ever. She'd come over and literally be like, "That's the friend that's gonna lay on the floor with the phone and get like angles." Everyone
Wow.
did, yeah. So
Wow.
she would do that, and we just freaking hang out on the roof and have our cocktails. And
You need that
eventually,
friend. You need that
yes,
friend in life.
yes. Eventually, I was like kind of on Instagram, and I was going in these models' bios, and I would see Jag models, and I'm like, what is that? Like, so I went and I did my research, which is very important for anyone who does want to become a model. I did my research and I submitted through their website, which I will say it's always great to submit through the website.
Okay.
And someone contacted me back. And
Like right
then
away.
I think it was like maybe 2 days, but
Okay.
like it wasn't a huge wait. 2 days go by and I get an email. And with that, you end up signing, and I'm like, what the hell? So this is the crazy part. Well, not crazy, but it's kind of interesting. So we eventually went back to work. And so I'm working and I'm at the desk and no one knows I'm signed to an agency because I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything, because I also believe in when certain things are happening to you, I think it's just good to keep it to yourself
Oh
and
yeah.
wait and then eventually share it. Because
Right.
sometimes I think energy could shift it, and I'm so like I'm all about the energy. So for me, I was like, let me just keep this hush hush. Let me
Let me
wait till
wait.
things are
Yeah.
solidified.
I do the same thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I was only like part-time. So it was a conversation where it's like, I'm kind of gonna have to let you go because there are other people that do need work. And I love my manager. She was awesome at the time. And she was like, but you could work weekends, like, because, she just wanted me around. Like, but, she was trying to really make it work for me.
Okay. Yeah.
But for some reason, I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, I decided to just be like, no, I'm all right. I'm going to go home. And with that, I think that time was crucial because I was able to really form relationships with my agency and do certain shoots and like really work on posing. And I got like that really one-on-one personal time because it was still kind of like the industry was up and down. We didn't know what was going on. So I was able to get like a lot of full attention. And I will say my agency is incredible because everyone gets the attention they need and
I like
deserves.
that. Because as a
Yes.
newer model, you would be
Yeah.
at the bottom of their to do list is the wrong
Yeah,
word, but
like you're a new face, like you're a
right.
new face. So it's so much that you have to learn that you don't really know. I didn't know anything about the modeling industry. So I'm just learning as I go.
Okay.
So me having that time was, I think it was just everything happened the way it was supposed to. The universe worked the way it was supposed to. It was a flow and not going, I haven't gone back to that job. Like it's just been
That's
kind of,
amazing.
moving and grooving from there. But I do want to say, like, I have to get back to being consistent. Like, I'm not the most consistent person now. And I also don't want to get comfortable in that, like, I look back on that time, like, damn, I was really out here, like, taking photos every day, doing this and the third. And I really went for something. And I want to be like that still. So I will say, when you get it, don't stop. Like, move like you're still trying to get it because you really are. You're still trying to just keep up with that momentum. So that's something I'm working on. But it really did flow so well. And I think everything does happen for a reason. So
Yes, it
being a
does.
singer, it's crazy because I never thought about modeling. My brother's a photographer, he's
Okay.
incredible. And there was a time, it's a cute little funny story. I auditioned for The Voice like years ago. Years ago, I auditioned for The Voice,
Wow.
got through the first round, let me just say.
That's pretty cool.
And
Okay.
the second round was coming up, and it was a snowstorm the night before. And me, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I have these wild ideas sometimes. I was telling my brother, I'm like, can we go outside and do a shoot? Like, I think it would look so dope with the snow falling down. I
Oh,
actually have that photo. I gotta find it. I'm like, it would be so cool. And he's like, Mega, I don't want to go out in the snow right now. Like it's late. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm like, please, begged him. He finally agreed. We go out in the snow, we take the photos, and they probably weren't even all that. But to me, it was just the idea. Like we're both starting out doing whatever we're doing. He's starting out photography, I'm doing my thing.
right.
And I messed my voice up. I got a cold and was strained. And I also don't think like no matter what, like you sing through that. So obviously my voice wasn't that strong. I'm not gonna say like, oh, my voice was strained, so I didn't make it. Like maybe I just didn't make it. But obviously it added to that.
Right.
But me thinking about that now, I'm like, damn, I sacrificed and I went outside in the cold. And I probably who knows what I had on, probably a t-shirt and something else because I wanted it to look however I wanted it to look.
Right.
And I was out there taking photos for like a good 20 minutes, knowing I had an audition because I love to sing and it's also a passion of mine. And it clicked for me right there the other day when I was thinking about that story because I'm like, I always loved taking photos. I just never realized it. So that's just
That's like
it's
full circle
full
almost.
circle. It
Yeah.
speaks such volumes. And just to anyone that I feel like has that one passion and they think like I have to go full force with this. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Slow down because there's other things that also are in that realm of creativity or business or whatever it is that you're into that you don't even realize that you also love. So it's just like beautiful to like really think about it. So
No, that's a crazy story. Cause like what now I'm sure you're probably like, oh my God, like I hate myself, like I wish I never did that because then I would have been on The Voice. But it's like, no, like things happen for a reason. And like, yes, maybe you could have stayed inside, but like, you had a passion for taking photos for a very long time.
and
And I
I
think
mean anything for the shot. I'll go out in thunderstorm. I'm like, but the rain would look cool on my dress.
the
Like
aesthetic.
I would do anything for a shot. And me and my nana, like during the fall time, we love like the colors of the leaves and all that stuff. We always go out every year and just take massive amounts of photos
I
all
love that.
day. So it's just something that I didn't even realize that I love so much. And it was cool also to do it with my brother because now he's like a freaking awesome photographer and he's shooting with all these different brands and
So now
stuff.
he's going
And I'm
up
like, look
too.
at us.
You're like,
So
that's amazing.
full
That's
circle,
amazing.
yeah.
Sibling goals, sibling goals. No, but that's a really powerful story. And I think you don't I think back then you had to like do one thing, like be a singer, be an actor, and that's it. Whereas now people are very multifaceted. And
For
like you hear
sure.
you watch interviews with like J-Lo, like, oh, they didn't think I can't be a rom-com actress, and like I'm gonna show them. And like she might she might not be your favorite actress or your favorite singer, but I
Right.
think it's very powerful that no matter, despite what people said, like she still went after it. Like, I want to do this. Let me do this.
One thing about
Perfume.
J-Lo, that hustle is
She
different.
gonna get the bag.
She's gonna get to it. I watched an interview because I love the reel and she was on the reel and she was like, like you said, they were telling her like, no, you can't do this, you doing this, and she was like, no, I think I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do everything,
Yes, I
and
saw
I'm
that.
gonna collect these bags, and I'm gonna do it because that's what she loves to do. Can't knock that hustle. People
Yes.
may not agree with the vocals and all that, but guess what? J Lo's getting to it. So shout out to J
Yes.
Lo because you don't put yourself in that box. You break it
No.
and you create several lanes for yourself, and no one's gonna tell you anything.
And you don't wanna like grow up and like regret. I wish I should have coulda. You
Yep.
know, like
Yep.
I don't want that. I want to try everything, and if I
Of
fail,
course.
it's gonna be
At least you
embarrassing.
tried.
But keep going. Exactly,
Mhm.
keep going. If you fail and you're embarrassed, like just keep going. At least you tried. You
Exactly.
know. So yeah, I totally agree with that. In
Mhm.
September of this year, you were featured in the 2021 October Allure Magazine issue with singer Ariana Grande on the cover, where you got to showcase the beauty of natural hair, specifically locks. Why was that so special for you? I know we touched on that before, but why was that special for you?
Oh my God. Just embracing the locks was so important. And when I got that call. And it's so funny. You know what's interesting? I have not cried yet because I'm just so overcome with all these different emotions that I really don't know how to react. But that for me, seeing that, I remember trying to hunt down that magazine. I called the magazine shop and was like, "Do you guys have it yet or whatever?" And she was like, "No, we don't have it yet." And then she called me back and was like, "We have it." And we rushed over there and I found it and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in a magazine and it's about dreads and melanin and black women. What is this?" Like that's everything. It's everything. And I have a friend of mine, he has a daughter, and he was telling me, like, she was really proud to see that. And that just for me,
You're
I'm
inspiring little ones. Like
like
that's
that for me is amazing. Like I have two little cousins, and when I'm in the Aerie store, they'll go in and they take like they took a photo, and I saved it and I have it because it's just such a, I don't know, it just like warms my heart up. For me, that's really what it's about because younger Mega, I don't think she would have thought she was going to be in Allure on billboards or anywhere, like doing any of that. Maybe it was something different, but I would have never thought that I could make, girls feel so good. Actually got a message today. This young lady contacted me and she was just like, I'm so happy anytime I see you in the Aerie store. Like, I feel like, you are, she said, you're one of my favorite Aerie models. Like, you're really showing out for
wow.
like curve, for the curvy community. And that to me, like messages like that just make everything like that. That's it for me. That feeds me. That makes me so happy. Like that's
Yes.
literally it. I'm so about young women and little girls just feeling that because for me, I don't know if I like was looking up to anyone growing up, like as musically, of course I was, but as far as like body or like looking at someone with dreads and stuff, I'm not sure if I really had that unless like it was Lauren Hill because I was an old school baby.
Oh yes, love Lauren. But yeah, like it's
Yeah,
very
but
far and few between.
that'll
You
get
know?
me emotional real quick. So to me, that is everything. So to be in Allure was huge. It's still the biggest thing that's happened to me thus far.
Because I
Yeah.
think it's one thing to like make money and like get your family out the hood and buy your mama a house
Yeah.
and to achieve certain career things,
Mhm.
but it's like to also inspire along with that, and you're doing what you love, and people are like rooting for you, and like they feel they feel seen. when
Yeah. You
at
feel
one point you
seen.
didn't feel seen,
Mhm.
that's like, yeah.
And it's so funny because I used to watch videos. I used to watch interviews like this where they're like, I'm speaking up for the girls that can't, and this, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You don't know me. I'm in this house right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's real. But I really am. And I turned into one of those people. So who's to say you can't turn into whoever you want to be? Like you have all the power. You can do absolutely anything that you want to do with that creativity, with that drive, with your mind, like all of it. So it really is possible. Because trust me, if I'm doing it, shoot. I mean,
No,
anybody
no.
could do it. And that is
Yes.
a word.
Yes.
So
Drop the mic. Drop the mic
that
because
that meant everything to me.
no,
And I
it's
still
like
have my copies and I will be blowing it up and putting it somewhere in my house.
yes, you need to get that framed.
Yes.
No, because I
Actually,
think
the sweetest thing when I had my first test shoot, well, what was it was an editorial I did actually, an
okay.
editorial that ended up in Lady Gun magazine. And like I do these things that I don't realize until after that, like, oh my God, I really did that. So my boyfriend blew one of those photos up for me and he put it in a frame and everything.
Oh my god.
And he was like, this is like a big deal. Like he was really trying to explain it to me, like, you're gonna remember this and I want you to have this because so many things are gonna happen, but you're gonna remember like, wow, like I really started here. So it's so important to also, and this is all not off topic, but to celebrate every time you do something great too.
Like
Because a lot of
small
people, I feel
wins
like some
and big
people like
wins.
work hard. Yes, no matter what it is, you celebrate that because you're getting up and you're doing it.
Because
So
one day you'll be on the cover.
exactly.
you know?
Right.
Yes. One day you'll be the main story focus, whatever they're trying to sell. Yeah, one day you will. I think it'll happen. I think you have to be humble, and you are, and
Oh, thank
remember where you
you.
started,
Yeah,
because I think
absolutely. Like, and guess what? Even if you don't make it on that cover, you doing something. Like
yes.
you're like those messages to me like fill my heart up so much that it's just like, man, I don't care what happens now. Like,
Because there's
the,
people who are amazing and
I
who
really
aren't on
made someone
mainstream
happy.
covers.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
not on the cover of Vogue, but they still do amazing things. So, you don't
yeah.
need that validation from, I don't know, Anna Wintour or whoever it is. But I think, no, yeah, like as long as we're all put on this planet for a reason. And it sounds cheesy, but like we all have a purpose. And I think one of those purposes is to give back, inspire, like
Absolutely. In
reach
whatever way
one,
you
teach
want to
one.
do.
Right. Shifting gears to music, what
Yeah.
is your songwriting process? How does that happen? Is it like I'm listening to music and then I get inspired, or just living your everyday life? Where does that come from?
I will say, anytime I listen to Jhene or Summer, even if
I
I
gotta
don't come
listen
up
to the
with
new
anything,
album.
I'm like, somebody hurt me and I'm gonna write about it. Even if they didn't, I'm gonna create a story in my head because you feel it so much that you like, you know what? Take my pen out and write a little something. But all jokes aside, for me, sometimes I can listen to a song and be like, you know what, let me try to write. Or sometimes I do need a beat, or sometimes I may hear a beat, but it's like weird little things. Or sometimes something happens and I'm like, I need to jot this down and do something. I will say, just recently getting back in the studio for like the first time in however long, it was almost weird. I was like, whoa, am I having an out of body experience? Like, I didn't realize I missed it so much. And just
Wow.
like, damn, taking time away from something, you really like, you find your groove all over again. So it was kind of wild, but
Almost like riding a bike,
yes,
kind of.
oh my
Yeah.
God. And I cannot ride a bike. Like, I used to
Really?
love riding bikes. I tried to get on a bike today and almost fell off. I'm like, what happened? Like, it's so crazy. You just lose all your motor skills. But it like I get inspired during weird times or just like maybe where I'm feeling super emo. Like it's wild, but I have like endless amount of voice notes where I mean I go back and I'm like, oh my God, who hurt you? Like what's going on?
It's like almost like a diary.
It is.
I
Oh
guess
my
like
God, it is.
like
It
almost journal. Like, do you write it in a journal, or do you like record it?
I always record it. It's always like a
Mhm.
voice memo. it's rare that I actually write it. Sometimes I will if I want to feel really like Alicia Keys vibes, very poetic. Like I'll sit by my window and like, I have my furry little journal and I may jot some stuff down. But it's rare that I do that. Usually it's all in my notes and all in my voice memos. It would
Okay.
probably be really interesting if somebody went through my voice memos. They'd be like, all right, it's
Oh,
giving
okay.
all over the place.
Was music
Giving, don't know what you want.
right? Was music your first love, or do you think it was modeling or something else?
It's so funny because ever since I became a model, people will be like, oh, so like you just model now, right? Like you're not doing that singing stuff anymore. And I'm like, who told you that we just had to do one thing? It goes back to what we were saying about like,
You were just saying
we
that.
have to stop thinking that we can only do that one thing. But music will always, for me, be so special and so important. Yesterday, I actually had my family over, and my dad was like, because we were watching, Alicia Keys has like this docu-series out right now. It's like kind of promo leading up to her album. Love
Okay.
Alicia Keys. First time, that was the second song I ever learned to sing was If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys. And the first one was Amy Winehouse. I heard Love is Blind. Love Amy Winehouse. Like, love her, love her, love her. My favorite artist of
Oh
all
my
time.
God. Yeah.
But my dad was telling me, he was like, you kind of remind me, like Alicia was in the studio and he was like, the way I would hear music as a baby, because Alicia's son is like he's incredible.
Okay.
And my dad was in a hip hop rap group back in the day called I, and
Oh my
he's a
God.
producer and a rapper. And so
That's
he'd
so
be making
cool.
beats with his friend, and he'd have me sitting as a baby, sitting up on the couch, and I'd just be sitting there listening to music. He was like, you wouldn't cry, you just be chilling. And he was like, I think like the way you hear music is just different because you were
Mm.
so like you were just surrounded by it. So I think it's in my blood. It will always be. I think I'll always be an artist, even if I get frustrated and say I'll never make music again, which definitely happens. But for me,
Okay.
like, oh, I just love music. I love it so much, and I love creating music. And it's also something I feel like me and my dad, like we share and we love it so much. Like I'll send my dad a song and then we'll see each other. We'll be talking about it. Oh, when she snapped, she did this and da, da, da. And it's like something special that we have as well.
I love that.
And I just love music. So that'll always be forever.
You strike me as the entertainer that's gonna like you're gonna go back and forth. Like you're gonna maybe promote a movie and like be in your acting thing, and then
Oh
you're gonna
my
like model, and then
God.
you're gonna
Thank
sing. Like I feel
you.
you know how like
Speak
we
it
see.
onto my life.
Yes,
Amen.
yes. Because I feel like our faves, some of our faves do that. Like
Oh
they'll
yeah.
they'll back and forth, and people are like, oh, which one are you doing? Like I'm doing this now. I feel like you're gonna be like that.
Oh my God. I would love it. I would absolutely
You
love it.
know. So yeah, I think yeah, and why like we said, why do you have to choose? You know, because
Yeah, you don't. You make the rules. This
you
is
know
your life
you
experience.
could model forever. You know, some people transition, but you can model for as long as you can. You can do music, you
Yeah,
can
for
act, and
sure.
then maybe maybe I want to be a real estate developer. I don't know. Like people switch all the time. So I think it's totally fine.
Absolutely.
You know, your last project, Before the Sun Sets, released in 2019, was phenomenal. My personal favorites are Run Me Dry, Nobody, and Last. Are you working on new music currently?
So I'm really hoping to eventually I'm gonna just say in the future, I don't know if it's the near future, put an album out because I've always done EPs. So I really do want to work on like a really special album. And I think just with everything I'm experiencing, I have so much to talk about. Also, thank you. I love Run Me Dry as well.
Yes. No, that was so good.
It's not his favorite. But me, I live for some Run Me Dry.
No, it's so good. Your
But no, thank
voice.
you so much. I freaking love that project. And it's interesting because I feel like with music, just because a certain amount of people heard it, like there's a whole world. So don't, always promote that. And I suck at promoting myself. So I'm still kind of promoting Before the Sun Sets in my own kind of way. I need to do better with it. But I do hope to eventually have an album and hopefully tour again because I was doing like a small tour with So Far Sounds and that was so
Really?
incredible and amazing. And then COVID happened and everything, was kind of all
Right.
going crazy. But I hope to experience that again because that was incredible. I've never
No,
experienced
that's
anything.
awesome. I didn't know that you got the opportunity to do that. Did you tour
Yes.
like just in New York or like the tri-state area?
So I did Boston, we
Okay.
did Chicago, we did
Wow. Okay.
Maryland, we did DC. It was
That's
really,
awesome.
really fun. Just like performing it first of all in front of a bunch of people that didn't know me, and then like creating relationships. And So Far Sounds is such an intimate experience to where you can touch, you can touch people and you can have a conversation. Like literally, it's just like talking to a bunch of people and like making friends. Like I have a bunch of friends now all over the place that I just randomly met, and we just connected through my music, and that was
I
amazing.
love
So I
that.
really do want to do that again. That's something I definitely want to do.
Right. And like it like interacting with the audience and like seeing
Everything.
people sing the lyrics to your songs. Like that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. If you
Yeah.
could open for anyone of your choosing, who would you want to open for?
Jhene Aiko for sure.
Yeah. Her
Jhene,
album, her last album with the yellow, I think Chilumbo, that was
I
amazing.
like when I tell you I live for her, like I think she don't even get enough credit. Like her pen is crazy. Her pen is crazy, and she could say the most outrageous things in such a beautiful way. I
I
think
was
when
just
you
about to
can
say
do
that.
that, when you could do that and make it sound so fly and so poetic and just
And
beautiful, it's like,
angelic.
damn, she will cut me, but she will also love me
She's not to
too.
be
But
played with. No,
yeah,
yeah.
so I would love that. And just her vibe, like I feel like she doesn't twist or bend for anything. And she's just true to her. I've never been like, that's different for her. Like it's always just been like, nah, that's Jhene. So I would love
Right.
that. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Oh, I was gonna ask you, is
Hmm.
it being that your boyfriend, he is a actor, is it easier being in a relationship with someone that is in the same field as you?
It's so crazy because I would say that when I was single, I'd be like, I need to be with someone creative. Like I need someone to get my vibe or whatever. But I won't even say it's that because I think it's just someone who really is passionate about something. And I will say there are some things where it's like we are both creative. He gets it. He gets if I have to go to a casting, that's the same thing as him having an audition. Like it's the same type. Like we have our setup in our living space where like that's where we do our stuff. Like where I'm sitting right now, he'll do his audition. So I'm doing what I have to do over here. And he's just like used to that side of it. And honestly, he's taught me a lot because he's been acting way longer than I've been doing modeling. Like he's seasoned with like
Wow.
dealing with, maybe you're not feeling yourself. Maybe, like maybe I didn't do good with that audition, like things like that. When I come home from the casting and maybe I'm like, oh, it didn't go well, or I had a shoot where I wasn't feeling good. Like that's someone like, that's my person that I automatically go to because I know you're going to understand. So I will say it's like definitely awesome in that way.
Okay, so now for some the Cervantes podcast rapid fire questions.
All
My
right.
first one, what makes you laugh the most?
My boyfriend and my mom, they're the two funniest people I've ever met. It's sickening.
I love that. I love that. Three things you're grateful for.
Family, love, creativity.
Yes. What would you tell your younger self?
I mean, you doing a good job. Period. Because I
Yes.
really don't have no complaints. I stay true to me. I stay true to
Okay.
myself, and I'm proud of that. So you're doing a good job, and it's gonna be all good.
I love that. And we're young, so like we're still pretty young and like we have a lot more life to live, but I
Right.
like that. Like 9-year-old Omega. I like
Yeah,
that.
like girl, don't even stress.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, so let's manifest. I'm thinking album. It's giving
Yes.
marriage, possibly. It's
Yes.
giving it's giving a tour. It's
Yes.
giving snatched.
Yes.
It's
On
giving
the cover.
yes, and it's giving
Allure
like just
Magazine.
really staying true to myself and being as happy and giddy as I am now about the great things that happen. I never want to be like, oh, that was cool. Like just genuine. I always want to be this way. So staying true to myself for sure is what I want to see myself doing in 5 years.
Yes. Presenting a Grammy and then you get the
Hell,
Grammy.
it's giving Grammy. It's giving a gown maybe with a low
Yes.
back and a deep
Yes.
V.
You walk out, everyone's cheering, right? And then next
Hello.
year, you're winning. Yep.
Standing O, maybe.
Yes. Ooh, okay, okay. I'm here for it. And the last one, what would you name this current chapter of your life?
A beautiful ride. I don't know, like a real, like, uh, you know.
I like that. No, I like
I think
that.
like No, I wanted something more poetic. Let me really think about this. Man, I don't have anything, but
I
the
used to
best
say
ride
roller
of my
coaster.
life,
I like
the
that.
best
For
ride of
me,
my life.
when I
Like this
answered
is like
this, I
prime
said roller
time.
coaster because it's very,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
college and
ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm.
yes. No, I like that. I think we have a lot of life to learn. I mean, lot of life to live, a lot of things to learn.
Yes.
Um, and it's probably always gonna be a roller coaster, but I think I like
Mhm.
that. A beautiful ride. Yeah, and hopefully at the end we're satisfied and fulfilled.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
ebbs
keeping that
and
in a good place.
flows.
Period.
And
Period.
we're just gonna stay on this roller coaster of whatever it is.
Right, like family, friends,
Yes.
relationships, career, mental health, dealing with other people's
Yeah.
opinions, and
Mhm.
the politics, the news, and everything going on. Like hopefully,
Yeah.
we at the end of it, it's like, you know what, I did that.
We overcame it. We
We
overcame it,
overcame it. All the
and we were
obstacles.
ourselves the whole way through.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Omega, for joining me on the podcast. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
You.
I know you've been so busy, so it means a lot. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. When I tell you this guy right here is so freaking just gracious and professional and incredible. And I was so excited. I don't know. First of all, my email, I don't know what's going on, but I was so excited when you contacted me because this is something I talk about on a regular basis. And I'm sure everyone around me was sick of me talking their ears off about it. So I'm so happy I could speak to someone like you. And I'm proud of you and I will always support you.
Thank you
Anytime
so
you want
much.
to talk, you contact me. I'm gonna make time. So thank you so much for
Yes.
having me.
So you can follow Everything Omega on Instagram at Everything Omega, and you can purchase the 2021 October Allure Magazine issue available now. Be sure to leave a rating for the Cervantes podcast on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the Cervantes Podcast YouTube channel, and click the notification bell up top so you're notified whenever I upload a new episode. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.